What's up, everybody? It's Brandon, the Altruism Activist, and I've been active all of my life, but I've really been into deliberate exercise and fitness for the past 6 years or so. And I've come to realize how much of a psychological component there is to exercise and fitness alongside the obvious physical component. So, obviously, exercise is physical. You're working out your body, you're putting stress and strain on your muscles, and you're trying to fatigue your muscles. That's the obvious physical component. But what gets less attention is the huge psychological component that there is. So while you're pushing through a heavy set or you're pushing through reps in an endurance set, your mind and your psychology will tell you that, hey, this is new, this is different, this is uncomfortable, you might be in a little bit of pain, you should stop. This is different. Like, stop this. You're not used to this. And the question and the battle is, are you going to listen to that little voice in your head while you're on your set of squats or while you're doing push-ups or doing pull-ups? Are you going to listen to that voice in your head that says, this is uncomfortable, you should probably stop? Are you going to listen to that? Or are you going to push through and ignore that voice and get those extra couple reps in, or get that extra 5 pounds on the bar, or adding more weight to the bar, essentially? Are you going to listen to that voice that tells you to stop, or are you going to push through it? Because given that there is a psychological component, most people could get one to maybe even a few more reps on medium to longer sets, and most people could add maybe even 5 to 10 pounds to their max or max reps on a strength exercise. Most people can do that. Might not be the same for elite or expert level lifters or power lifters, but for the average lifter, you could add at least one to a few more reps, or add 5 to 10 more pounds on a max or max reps set of a given exercise for the average lifter, because of that psychological component. If you ignore the voices in your head and your psychology that says, hey, this is uncomfortable, this is new, you should probably stop. If you ignore those voices, you can likely get one to a few more reps or add a couple more pounds to the bar. And like I said, it's a little bit different for people who know exactly how much they can do. They know their limits, they've pushed it, for expert and elite level athletes or lifters. But for the average lifter, you can do a little bit more than you think if you work against that psychological component. And now I must say that there is a good part of that psychological component at times. The no pain, no gain notion isn't true. If it's bad pain, if you feel sharp pain in your joints, for example, that's a good indication that, okay, you don't need to work hard and push through that. You should probably stop. But if it's just muscle fatigue and lactic acid and just getting tired and fatigued overall, that's the type of voice that you need to push aside, and you can push through to really squeeze out a couple more reps or put 5 more pounds on the bar. And that is just breaking that level. You're transcending, you're expressing that energy that you need to get out and to progress even more. And so doing this and using exercise as a way to just overcome resistance and not listen to that little psychological voice inside of your head and in your mind, this can really be useful in, for example, not listening to other people who are naysayers that doubt you, or for doing things that people might not always think is ideal or that they would agree with. It's also helpful for expressing your willpower. It's, are you going to be lazy and not do and not work to your potential, or are you going to work through things? And also for productiveness. It's the same little voice inside of your head that's telling you you don't need to go and do those extra couple reps, or you don't need to add that extra weight on the bar. It's the same voice saying you don't need to work on that school project, you don't need to do this one last report for your job, you don't need to push this much more. It's that same voice. So are you going to listen to that voice inside of your head that's aiming you to stay at a comfortable level that you're used to? Or are you going to go in a healthy direction and push past that to be more productive, to get more done, to get stronger, to last longer. There's a huge psychological component to not just exercise, but life and willpower in general. So if you know when is the correct time to be able to push that voice aside and really progress and push yourself even harder, that can yield great results in not only fitness, but in your life, productivity, and just overall well-being too. So hopefully you found this interesting or informative, and let me know down below if you have any comments or questions or experience with this. So exercise and a lot of other things is not just physical, there is a huge psychological component to it as well. Using myself as an example, if I'm doing a moderate to high rep set of resistance training, I will give it my all. I will do all that I can as long as I have good form. And then at the end, I will quickly and honestly ask myself, do I have one or maybe even two more reps left in me? And if I can, I will do it. And often you might find that you can do one, sometimes even two more reps than you planned on or that you thought of. And for very high reps or like endurance training, what I will often do is halfway through the reps or the set, I will set a bar that I'm going to try to reach a little bit higher than I've done before or that I think I can do. That's the most important part. You might think you can do something, you might have a goal, set it a little bit higher and then just say, okay, I'm going to push myself and I'm going to see if I can get there. And with good form and with good quality technique, I will see if I can get to that level. And if I can do it, that's just breaking a mental barrier that I set for myself, a mental limitation that I broke through, and that can yield just such a big sense of accomplishment during that exercise. Normally people feel accomplishment after they exercise, but each set can make you feel accomplished if you do more than you thought you could. Make sure you have good form though. And another thing to mention is auto-regulate. Make sure that you're using auto-regulation in your training, which just means that if you're not feeling the best, if you're not having the best day, you don't have to go and push it on every single set and work as hard as you did last time even. But if you're feeling good, if you're feeling energized, you're feeling really strong, don't be afraid to push it on that workout. You need to vary it on how you're feeling. If you're not feeling so good, don't push it so hard. But if you're feeling really good and strong, push yourself and see what you can do. Find out your limitations and just play around with that as long as you're doing it with good form and safety. And like I said, if it's sharp joint pain, for example, that's a good indication. All right, don't listen to that voice and stop it. But if it's just muscle fatigue and just general fatigue and tiredness, push through it, and you might find that your limits that you're setting for yourself are a little bit lower than your potential. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please leave any comments or experiences that you have with this in the comments section below. I'd love to reply to all of you and hear you guys' stories. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the following videos. Peace out.